All right, people, we're on StreamYard, and this is the Anonymous Recruitment Network, and we're doing a double duty here. It is time to ask big questions, hardcore, folks. We are both here on Streamlabs and also on StreamYard. We've got so far in this one about around nearly uh 20 minutes. We're about here about almost a minute here on StreamYard. Um, we're talking about the title of the video, asking the big questions now. What I'm talking about is between a hardball and a softball question. Questions that would make people feel at ease, comfortable, glad to ask, glad to answer, and there's some that people wouldn't feel comfortable even answering because it's a hardball question. Hardball question. Softball questions are just like, a feather in the wind, gone, vanquished. No more bite, feather. God. So what's really going down with this here, folks? I mean, again, the the media has been really buddy with DC politics and the Democratic Party. They're buddy with the squad, the Queef crew, AOC and her Queef crew. Yeah, I'm renaming AOC's band of twats. AOC and the Queef crew. Now, she's really amping up her. She's really amping up on her Queef relief pill, and when you really, I mean, just she now she was on CNN the first time she was elected to Congress. What happened? Andrew Cooper asked her softball questions. She answered it. No problem. But if you ask AOC a hardball question, I mean, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, hardball type question, she won't hit it. She was like a deer caught in headlights. I'll tell you what, if anybody ever asked this woman a hardball question, I'm talking about the Hulk's nuts hard question. She would go fucking nuts. She'd go on Twitter, bitch, moan, complain. They asked me the Hulk's nuts hard type question. Now I'm supposed to get the softball ones where I can feel comfortable answering them. You need to ask these people hard questions, man, because you want them to be in the hot seat. You want them to be in the hot seat where you don't want them to sit and feel comfortable in this chair. You want them to squirm when the questions come at them like a bunch of 100-mile-an-hour yawn darts. If the media becomes buddy with politicians, don't worry. Man, I mean, could you imagine? Don't worry. We'll give you some questions. They'll make it hardball, but it'll be a softball question. Well, here's a question we're going to ask you. Look them over, and then this is the same shit. Okay, remember Hillary wore a mic, same color as her wardrobe. You wouldn't think it's there, but it was there. Oh, Joe Biden too. Joe Biden. He had a thing in his sleeve. Remember on the debate, he had a thing on his wrist in his sleeve, and then thing in his jacket, he had an earpiece in his ear. They were giving him they were fitting him answers to this question. They're giving him answers ahead of time. Trump never did that. Never wore an earpiece. Never had a thing in his sleeve. Straight guy. And I'm sitting there. I'm watching the debate. Okay. I'm sitting back. I'm like, he doesn't talk about policy or anything. He just blah 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 blah, which means my brain just committed suicide, my nuts shrieked up to my asshole, and my wife slept with Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Or Lori Lightfoot. So it sounds like blah, 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 blah. And they're asking these questions to these people. You know. How's your day, Joe? Well, you know, I went to the doctor today and he put his finger up my ass and told me to cough. But when I did, the light bulb went out and said, no mas, me dead. But you have to really wonder why are they getting these softball questions from left wing and news idiots? Because they're buddy buddy, man. They're buddy buddy and shit. But if you were a Republican candidate or for whatever office, or anything, you know, a left wing reporter or journalist would ask you hard questions, right? But they're going to ask the same damn thing. Trying to get the answer that benefits them, not the person they're interviewing. They're out trying to get political points for their network and for the people that they're buddy with. So it's okay for the left wing media to ask hardball questions to a Republican candidate or anybody who's a Republican or conservative, but it's to the left. It's like it's not okay for a right wing journalist to ask hardball questions to a left wing nut job. I mean, imagine on CNN, so and so on this right wing network was very mean to this left wing nuthead, who's our buddy person. We would never do that. It's kind of like playing on the playground, right? Oh, you can't do this, but I can do this, right? You can't say that, but I can say this. Type shit. There's a time and a place where you have to remove corporatocracy out of the news. Okay. Because if a corporation owns a news network, like Comcast owns NBC, Disney owns ABC, Viacom owns CBS. CNN is owned by AT&T. Seriously. You're not allowed to tell the truth. You're not allowed to just. You're only allowed to do the stories that they tell you to do. Okay? So what's that? For example, 16 years ago, there's a story. Two people work for Fox. And the story was a farmer was injecting his cows with steroids. So, bigger the cow, more milk. What this farmer didn't understand is that if you inject your cows with steroids, it will contaminate the milk that they're giving out. So the stores that get the milk don't know that the milk is tainted by steroids that was injected in the cow. These two got the story out. They did store. They did everything right down to okay. They're about to they're about to do it. People at top, even the lawyer said, "Can't do this. Can't do this store." These two a Pulitzer. This was a Pulitzer Award kind of type of story. As a farmer, you're basically tainting your cows. You're tainting the milk that's in the cow because the cow is looking like really obese, about the size of Rosie's ass. The milk is tainted in the cow. The steroid they use made the cow bigger. And what it does, it's the milk in the cow. Not safety of the people that consume that milk that's in the steroid injected cow. The story was chucked. It was like, whatever. So these two were about to be fired. To be fired. And so they decided to take the story to somebody. If they were to be fired, they would take the story with them and hoping to release the story to the public because they need to be knowing what's happening to this cow, these cows. It's all about profit. If this happens to anybody, I mean, if you're drinking a milk that's been tainted by steroids that's from the cow, what's going to happen to you? A long-term effect of steroids can cause you cancer. Went to the Hall of Fame and died. He was this known guy, Lyle Alzado. Played for the Browns, Broncos, Raiders. He was a steroid user. He was in his prime. He was in his 40s. I'm 44. Long time user. Been up. I'm getting older. My body ain't what it used to be. But you do. You use you steroids. You bulk up. You try to maintain that youthful, athletic thing in what you do. Football, right? Football players use it. Weightlifters use it, and they think I'm gonna bulk up size of the Hulk. Roid rage, shrinking of your testicles, make you impotent, sterile, acne on your butt and back and your body and everything else. You could die. And as a guy, there's a good chance of testicular cancer from steroid use. Well, Alzado had brain cancer. That's why his hair was gone. He was thin as fucking uh snafu. No. Thin as almost like olive oil. His beard's gone. He was dying. He was sick as fuck from all this steroid use, man. Huge shit. Um, but this is how bad the media is. Besides the whole thing here, the story would have been a Pulitzer. These two reporters would have gotten a Pulitzer Award for this story on this farmer who injected steroids in his cows to get more milk, to produce more milk and more profit, more profit. All of this is just not bullshit because it's putting the cow's life for long term use of this would make the cow's life in jeopardy. I mean, really, really in jeopardy. Because you're injecting a chemical of the animal, and long-term usage rendered because it would cause a heart attack to this animal, and its life would be shortened each and every day to this animal. A cow is about 1,500 pounds. Okay? Steroids would add about nearly an extra 400, 500 pounds, make it nearly 2,000 pounds and shit. Make it, well, about 200 pounds extra, adding to 1,500 pound cow here. And this story would have been good, but the people at Fox would they threatened to sue the network if they took this story and went with it because the story would have to be shelved again, right? Be shelved again, be shelved. So there are a lot of stories that have been denied, shelved, and whatnot. Like, when was the last time you heard about the stuff in North Dakota? The fracking crap in North Dakota. People were protesting. They were all parked in the area. They camped there in protest of this. Contaminates the water. Contaminates a lot of ground here. Makes the ground very not worthy to grow crops on because the crops would be absolutely wouldn't grow. The ground would be totally to be on anything here and shit. Um, so now the term hardball question. I would put it as a question that will make any left wing nut job, Democrat, whatever it is, where they are, it would make them feel very uncomfortable. It'll make them squirm like a fucking worm in boiling water. Softball questions to anybody who wants to have a kind of a buddy interview on TV and getting these softball questions. I would say fuck that. If you want to interview somebody, you ask some major motherfucking hardball questions. I'm saying hardball equipment, man, hardball shit, dude. You don't lobby it. You 100-mile-an-hour throw that fucker and make them sweat bullets with these questions, man. Make them sweat bullets big time. Because when you fucking do. Now, again, if anybody asks AOC and her queef crew, her queef crew, AOC and her queef crew, ask them any horrible questions, they're gonna go on Twitter and bitch and moan and whine. Means I am sterile. I can't have kids because I got done fucking a bar stool, a leg of a bar stool, and I got stuck. I had it removed by Hillary's surgeon. So nobody. I mean, look, nobody in this world like hardball questions. Other side. Breaking news: we got this report of a right-wing reporter asking one of our good buddy hardball questions. That ain't fair. Only we're allowed to do that. It's the childish antics of the media. Only we're allowed to ask hardball questions. So I'm laughing here, guys. I'm laughing here. It's okay for the left-wing media to ask hardball questions, which are not real hardball unless it's somebody from the right or the center. But they will ask over and over and over and over again until they get the answer that they want. But of course, they're not going to get the answer that they want about the interviewer or the network or the papers that they work for. It's about asking the question on any issue, right? Any issue. You have to really understand that if somebody says you're not allowed to ask hard questions, only we're allowed to do it. That's coming from from CNN, MSLSD, you name it, all other left wing networks, corporate owned networks and shit. Other paper. Now Facebook. I couldn't do anything on Facebook. I couldn't do a Facebook video, a live video. I couldn't share a meme or like a meme or like I couldn't share. I couldn't like. I couldn't do a fucking thing. I was in Facebook jail for about a week, and the reason is how they put it. It was harassing. It was threatening. It was yada yada yada. Just like fucking YouTube, right? Just like YouTube. And I was talking about logic here on the election. I didn't vote this year. Okay, I didn't. I was talking about logic on the election. The woman called me a sore loser. What was my response? 4 capital letters. Cunt. See you next Thursday. All of a sudden, oh my God. Oh my God, he called her a cunt. Oh my God. It's a big fucking deal. Anyone's going to be a cunt sometimes, you know. The song, anyone can be a cunt sometimes, you know. And it was done by the guy who's a member of Monty Python's Flying Circus. If y'all want to know who they are, go on YouTube and type it up. Monty Python's Flying Circus. It has this guy, John Cleese, you know, all guys. And it seems that the word cunt is no longer allowed on Facebook, which I see all the time. Hillary's a cunt. Pelosi's a cunt. AOC and their quiz squads are cunts. You know, what the hell are you saying it for? But, oh my God, you can't say that. Well, I'm saying it now. Cunt. 7 days I couldn't do a fucking thing. Because I said the word cunt. Say you next Thursday. Of course, today's Friday, the 13th. hey, I'll be here all day. But in actuality, you gotta think the media is. Just the way they come. For example, Don Lemon, dude. Don Lemon. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? The way he acts, the way Chris Cuomo acts, they act like more like activists and shit, not real journalists. If there was real journalism today, you would have constant hardball questions to these left-winging, liberal, moderate, progressive, socialist cunts, by the way. And yeah, of course, you'll see it on Twitter. And then I got to talk about question, whatever. But the thing is, you have to ask hardball questions, folks. You have to ask hardball fucking questions. It is time to get rid of these softball pussy questions, man. Get rid of these fuckers, because any reporter, any dumbass claiming to be a journalist are not a journalist. If you're a journalist who asks these softball questions, you're not a journalist. You're an activist pretending to be a journalist. Basically, you're a PC twat, okay? A real journalist, a real reporter would ask hardball questions. Now, there's a woman who's been a journalist for a long time, okay? She even asked Bill Clinton hardball questions, and there was respect there. She was the oldest member of the press corps, oldest member. Did reporting for a long time, for a very long time, and she asked Reagan, Bush 41. She asked, "Hey, Zero, how you doing, man?" Oh hell. Oh what the hell.
Okay, good. You single click that time instead of double click.
All right. Now, hey, I'm glad you're here, man. It's about asking the big question, man. The big questions here. We're live on Streamlabs. We're also here live on StreamYard. Okay.
You know how normally I have a
It's
meme
true.
for that?
It's time to ask.
You know, Grandmaster, you know how normally I have a meme for that? Well, this time there's actually a video on my YouTube, excuse me. But yeah, there's a video on my YouTube. Let me go get the name of it real quick. I wasn't ready for that as the introduction. So where is, oh, it's called Freedom Fighter Application. It's the scene from Men in Black 1 before Will Smith actually becomes agent. It's the bench scene. And the description I put on that,
Right here.
let me read this description real quick. Scene from MIB 1, you want to be a freedom fighter. Agent K will tell you exactly what you need to know, and the soon-to-be Agent J asks the questions with tough answers. You there, Grandmaster?
That's true. Anyway, it's true in a way, but also you're also, again, I'm asking. I compared a softball question and a hardball question. A hardball question is like trying to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and missing. Softball questions where it's like lobbing. It's like just lobbing it.
And a hardball question
too easy.
A softball question is anything related to COVID-19 at this point in time. A hardball question would be, is there any way plausible that you can release more evidence of the proof that you have that extraplanetary beings actually exist, as you have announced them this year that they actually are real?
Yeah.
When are we going to get more evidence besides this one official video? There is only one singular official video. When are we going to get more official information about this topic?
That's like asking the question about the Pentagon. Was it hit by a missile? Was it hit by a old plane? Or was it just
we went
a bomb that went off? And you're forced to be yeah.
We went 9/11. Okay.
Was it a missile? Was it a big plane? Or was it
all that right there? Okay, I can debunk to 9/11 again for everybody who has not heard me state this about 9/11. Okay, Osama bin Laden is supposedly the guy who did all this, the guy who planned all this, blah 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 blah. There is actual released evidence that Tim Osman, Timosman, this individual right here was a CIA agent, and this man became Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Which basically ensues the CIA attacked America. And that's all you need to know about 9/11.
Well,
I'm not telling you what happened. I'm telling you America did it to themselves. This is not some kind. This is not.
Do you remember?
The only terrorist act is the alphabet news channels that are sitting here constantly slamming shit on you all the damn time. That's the only terrorism that is going on.
Do you remember? Do you remember that Iran about was it $2 billion or $5 billion?
Who?
I mean, Obama. He gave Iran, I think, about billions of dollars. But
that reads like
there was $2 billion in advance. Okay.
Yes, that reads like hush money.
Here's how it played out. Okay. Here's how it played out. The Navy SEALs went to take out Bin Laden, right? Bin Laden. It wasn't Bin Laden. Bin Laden was when they took Biden. No, they took Bin Laden to Iran. Iran did his ass.
Tim Osman has been. Robert Williams is his body double. Osman is to Osama bin Laden. This is why whenever I bring this up, Grandmaster brings up the multiple deaths of Osama bin Laden. Yes, it is because Osama bin Laden is a character.
If you look at Bin Laden,
Robert Williams
Bin Laden and the body double,
the actor. Osama bin Laden is a character.
The body double, the body double had his beard was all black. All black, not one
we've
gray.
We've also discussed this about
Bin
the body.
Laden's beard.
Every top person that's the face of a country or the face of some kind of organization must have at least one duplicate because of stupidity. Just because of stupidity. I don't know what else you want to put here for stupidity, but yeah.
But also, if you look at Bin Laden's beard, it's black in the middle, gray on the side. Okay. Jenny.
Bad boys.
But Iran sent back the $2 billion as a bribe. Well, what were they to keep people? It was blackmail. Now, Benghazi was a way through to deliver weapons to Syria or Libya. one of those two. They killed the entire Navy SEAL. One chopper was shot down, one wasn't. They all went off in this Chinook, the Chinook that they flew in, and took everybody out because the Navy SEALs knew too much. There's about 35 to 40 on a Chinook. They were at a capacity level and weight. So they took out SEAL Team 6 and the Chinook. They took out the 4 people in that Benghazi and the Benghazi embassy. They asked for help. They never got it. Hillary said no. Okay, why? I mean, it's like here we gave you what billions of dollars, but we gave you $2 billion in advance, and then it was circulated back to us as a bribe.
Yeah, like I said, it was hush money that got recirculated back exactly like you said, as a re-bribe because they had to bribe again.
It was hush money. It was hush money. Now, again, the question we asked, okay, was it a missile that hit the Pentagon, or a big plane? Which there's no evidence of a plane hitting the damn thing. If there was, there'll be plane parts on the ground. Austin here was a bomb.
Maybe,
bomb.
yeah. I'm leaning towards that. I'm not going to say specifically C4, but I'll say like some type of explosive was placed on that outer wall, on the inside of that outer wall, and it just exploded because what I've heard is that section of the Pentagon that got destroyed was actually something that they needed to do, but they needed a reason to demo the Pentagon, so they just did it the easy way.
9/10, we all heard it on the news. Donald Rumsfeld says we are missing $2.3 trillion. Okay, 9/11, all of a sudden, boom. That area was the financial floor that held that was the finance holding.
See, I knew my sectional stage will have this information right in front of them, but I just had the general demographics of this is what happened, and sectoral stage says here's the details about what he's saying.
Now, again, this title video is time to ask the big questions hardcore. It's something the media refused to do.
So,
okay?
How many people have officially called this race that we're talking with right now, Grandmaster?
It's like being in the playground.
There's a question for you.
It's like being in the playground. You can't say this or do this on the playground, but I can do this and say it's on the playground. Why?
It says like
free country.
Watch me do this and this on the playground just to piss everybody off.
And
fun.
It's childish playground shit in DC, District of Criminals. And it's I mean, it's like, dude, what is it that we need to do? Easy. You let the media expose themselves of being a lame duck and a turd. They're gonna have a fit. That if somebody asks a hard question to a lame duck, that duck's gonna get uncomfortable. It's gonna get annoyed. It's gonna lose its comfortable zone. It's gonna go completely crazy. And after the interview, they're gonna go to Twitter, and quack 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 means my brain committed suicide, my nuts went up my ass, and my watch is banged the Chicago mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Back to what I was saying real quick. I asked about the election results, and I went to go look it up. And the news story that I'm noticing is we have the same electoral vote as 2016. It's just reversed, 306 to 232. That's
Trump
what
is at,
I'm being told.
Biden is at 227 and Trump's at 232. That's the real numbers. Because
Okay, awesome.
because the media just gave it to Biden without any confirmation from the states. Pennsylvania rescinded on Biden's win because it wasn't called by the electors. Only the electors have the constitutional authority to call it, not the media. The media's job is to report.
We had this discussion off camera. Exactly what you said. Only the Electoral College votes officially count. What the popular vote says means nothing. It's written in the Constitution.
It doesn't mean jack shit.
That more or less states that your vote means nothing. Whatever the person that's the Electoral College of your state, whatever he says, go. It doesn't matter what the state says, like we said off cam. Yeah, what the state says will influence what he says, but ultimately what he says goes, period. That person. I don't know if it's a he or she or whatever for each individual state or what. I don't even know who the Electoral College is, but I'm not even sure if they are even connected with the Congress.
The founding fathers,
branch, any of this. Where are they connected in any of the branch? Who is the Electoral College per state? Where are they connected in this checks and balances?
Committee that each state has a percentage of how many EV the candidate has or gets.
No, I'm not talking about the system. I'm talking about the legitimate, actual human, I will say, the being that says, okay, Pennsylvania votes this way. Oregon votes this way.
Kabani Kid, how you doing, man? Got a comment here. Well, the founding fathers set it up that way, where 270. It's been that way for 244 years, man, for a long time.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though? Who is the actual entity that states, okay, this is voting this way because of what is going on? Who is the actual?
I think that would be a question. That's a question you might want to ask the founding fathers.
Where is
Google
that?
it or Bing it. No, don't Google it. Don't Google it. Bing it. Bing it. Don't Google it. Bing it. Google looks nuts. It's kind of a bitch fit that the Democrats have. 4 years we're hearing fuck Trump, fuck Trump. He stole the election. The Russians helped him. There was no evidence of the Russians helping anybody, you know. But yet here we got evidence of fraud and election. But
okay,
here's my question. Okay, here's my question to the people that did the ballot counting. Okay, kind of balance everything else. I hope they watch this video. Okay, I hope they watch this video because what they did was a crime, federal crime. That could put them up in prison for 10 years. Voter fraud, election fraud. Anybody who participated in that could look at 10 years in federal prison. I hope they're watching this video right now, because what they did, from the post office people to the pollers to, they're looking at 10 years in prison for voter fraud and voter crap bullshit. It's a crime, and it is a crime. You have to let people monitor the ballot count, okay? And if you decide to, well, fuck it, fuck you all, we're going to let the Democratic monitors in so they could, whatever. Well, it has to be a Democrat and a Republican ballot count monitor person. And if you're a Republican, they're gonna put you out anyway, because they've been threatened big time, and it's illegal. Even the elector, the committee chairman, said what happened was a fraud. It was a crime. It was a crime. It could land somebody who's ever involved 10 years in prison. And it's a federal crime. A huge federal crime. And they could land in prison. Big person prison. And it is a
oh yes, what I sent you, I'm 3/4 of the way through reading. I'll spit out one of these paragraphs. Political parties within states pick people to serve as electors under rules approved by state legislatures. The electors are usually party leaders or members. And 538 people meet in 51 locations around the United States to pick the winner of the presidential election. So who are the members of the Electoral College is the opening statement of this thing that I sent you, Grandmaster. There's a few things down here. And it explains more or less, but it doesn't give explicit detail of how they get elected. It's just basically they're already inside of these political parties going up the road. So they're already part of the bureaucratical system of lies and blackmail. They're already within that system of lies and blackmail. So you can't even trust them motherfuckers.
No.
They're not everyday average people. They're part of the everyday lies and blackmails that our bureaucracy is filled of. There have been more than 150 faithless electors. So what happens if an elector doesn't vote for the candidate he or she was pledged to represent? States have the power to punish faithless electors with bullshit and bullshit.
They do. They have
on the wrist.
Like the Attorney General of Pennsylvania said there'll be no more counting ballots, which only the governor would say that.
But it's up to Congress to decide to accept the vote.
Yeah.
But if it's a faithless person, they would only get a slap on the wrist, which is basically what I'm reading here, which is why I said bullshit and bullshit. So after that, they have, okay, where are we going? In 68, federal law to decide the fate of the voter who voted for George Wallace instead of Richard Nixon. After objections were filed in House and Senate, both states voted separately to accept the vote. In those special sessions, the House and Senate meet separately for no more than 2 hours, and both the House and Senate must agree to an objection, and then the vote isn't counted. And then that vote isn't even counted. So, on top of everything, it's more or less like I stated. It's part of the bureaucracy system anyway, on the little bitty smaller scale, and only the top representatives of each individual party, political party class, gets to be an electoral college individual. And if they deem it worthy, their vote is cast. And if they don't deem it worthy within this cesspool of lies and blackmail and the bureaucracy, that's whenever they do something about it.
Which is why I've stated for years that our votes don't give a shit.
Exactly.
This I haven't voted since
I don't.
It's useless to try and vote when you're not even counted as a person, let alone the thousands of people that are voting and they're thinking that their voices matter. It don't to the government.
Excuse me, sorry for the correction. The millions of people that vote. Tens of millions.
Well, a lot of us know that our voices ain't shit to the government. So what's the point?
Now, my idea is that these tens of millions decide to walk upon Washington and say, fuck this shit.
Voting is a waste
I came across a video on Facebook that made a really good sense. I'm gonna send you guys a link here in a bit. I'm gonna find it here. So it's a real good link. I mean, it like totally blew me away here. So I'm gonna find it here. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's like, you know, let's see here. I'm gonna here go.
Unfortunately, when you have these types of people running the country, what's the point of doing anything smart and trying to change the world when they don't even give a shit? You're wasting your time voting. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. I haven't voted in like 4 years, so I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna vote this year because of the entire. I mean, it's bullshit because, you know, Al Bundy said it right the first time. It don't matter what you vote, it always comes up bad.
Man, Foamy's got some wisdom. Foamy the squirrel. If humanity asks for me, tell them I'm busy. I got better things to do than help a society that refuses to be helped.
Do you remember the video that there was a video that I seen where Foamy is out there on the computer or at his table, and that chick, the cartoon chick, is kind of on the plus side, and he was blasting her big time, dude. And Pilsy, oh, that dude's funny, dude.
Jeremy. Foamy is always blasting Jeremy because Jeremy represents the female sheeple to the T, and Foamy loves cheering these people. The dude with the glasses that has an eye stigmata, that dude is fucking epic. The dude with the hat, he's okay.
Pilsy Asker
is like, doesn't talk.
Pilsy Asker, I hiding food in your ass? No, I'm not hiding food in my ass. You know, I was like, oh, fucking A, dude. I was like, YouTube removed it.
Well, they removed it. I'm like, thing, though. Here's the strangest thing. I bought a Foamy shirt, and it says, "The world is dumb enough already. Don't add to it." And every time I walk into Walmart, no worker ever asks me if I need help. One day I walked in with that shirt. All of a sudden, I got a worker wanting to help me. Something doesn't make sense here. Why is it?
I have my shirt. It says ignore, and has a handout, ignore. And I'm like, I wore it, and people would look at me really weird. Like, okay, like, what does that mean? You know? Do you know how you hear stories about people that wear a Trump hat or a Trump shirt or whatever? They get attacked. Okay, they get attacked. I don't know if anybody that wears a flag hat like mine here, like this here, I don't know if they ever got attacked by anybody from Antifa or BLM, because there's a kid that wore a Trump hat and American flag mask. I mean, and the two girls that attacked him got hit with charges, assault charges on them. Who gives two shits flying fuck about somebody who supports anybody? If somebody supports a candidate, that, fuck it. Back the fuck off. Mind your own fucking business. Stick your nose up your own ass, man. Leave the person alone and go fuck yourself. I wear this as my mask. Have I ever got attacked by a Ranger fan? No. Charger fan? No. Rams fan? No. Why? We're all football fans. If you ain't down with that, I got 3 words for you. Blow me, bitch.
Yep, 3 words.
I mean, yeah, you have people who they have a right to express themselves any way they fucking want. If anybody else don't like it,
I was watching the thing Grandmaster shared. That shit was epic. I only got through like a minute and a half of it so far. That's how come I kind of interjected. That shit's good, bro.
What?
This guy crashes the presidential debate. You shared it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. That shit's epic, dude.
And that there should be on fucking YouTube, man. It should be on YouTube. It should be shared with every fucking buddy, because this video here makes so much goddamn sense, man. It makes so much fucking sense, man. It does.
Needs to be on YouTube.
And this is why the left is scared shitless of this kind of talk. Because anybody that has a heart and mind to do this, they are, how you say, unpredictable. It is really just, dude. I had 602. My subscribers went from 602 to 601.
Yeah, somehow the YouTube algorithm does that.
I did a video about 2 years ago and asked the question, why do Democrats want pedo Joe Biden as president? They removed it. I can't do anything for a week on that. Not even for a week. But I don't stream live from YouTube. I use StreamYard. I use Streamlabs, because I could get around all that shit. Because to device, say your tablet and your phone, you need 1,000 subscribers. You need 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 601. I'm only 499 subscribers to go.
601 is $3.99, Grandmaster.
Oh, $399. I was off by 100, man. Okay, cool.
No, you was off by not carrying a 1. Let's make it easier let's make it easier on you. Instead of saying you was off by 100, you was off by not carrying a -1 in the hundreds place.
But I think the reason why they did that is because a lot of people who are on location someplace, they're using their phone, they're streaming on the YouTube live thing, they're streaming, and somehow along the way, somebody must have did something, or somebody did. I mean, whatever it was for that to happen. And I can't believe Facebook will get this childish, you guys. I was speaking logic about the election last week. Logic. And some dumb broad, some crazy broad, called me a sore loser. Okay. My response? Can't. See you next Thursday. And I couldn't do a damn thing for a week. I couldn't share a post. I couldn't like a post. I couldn't do a Facebook Live feed or stream and call it. I couldn't even add a friend.
They put you in Facebook jail.
Yeah.
It was like,
I was busy jerking it while I was in jail.
$200.
Oh man. I just, you know, I think that social media needs a wake up call. And I talked about this about 2-3 videos ago, that what if the real owner of Twitter comes back to a company that was stolen from him? Kind of like pulling a Steve Jobs and firing idiots that caused him to lose the company he owns and founded. What if the 3 co-founders of Facebook comes back and say, yeah, we're here to come back, and we're here to kind of shake things up, and oh, by the way, Marky Mark is Lucky Nuts, we're gonna make your life hell. We're gonna continue to make some money off your scrawny Jew throwing little dick ass. I mean, it would shake up a lot of shit around Twitter and Facebook.
I'm gonna go work on getting that video onto YouTube, Grandmaster.
Okay.
All right, man.
So I mean, there are a lot of so many questions, man. So many. I mean, when you really, I mean, you got to ask these questions. That's all people, I think, you should do. Ask questions. Not these softball ones. I'm saying real hard ball questions. You don't want the person to get comfortable. You don't want them to feel relaxed in their seat.
You so relaxed that you turn off your camera.
It's a browser type shit, man. Like, what the fuck? It happened last week. Yeah, it happened last week. Because I was talking about Kurt Cobain's death and the anniversary of his death.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, it would cut the video but leave the audio. And it said your browsing thing was disconnected. Like, I'm not using a webcam. I'm using a webcam on my laptop webcam.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to film, and it did it for a good 20 minutes. Didn't. Then all of a sudden, after 20 minutes, started to like cut the video feed. Oh crap! Here we go again. I'm not using Zoom or Skype, you bastard. These cocksuckers, man. These motherfuckers, dude.
I tell you, they don't want this information out there.
Oh, what the fuck?
There it goes again.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I've been trying to figure out why is it doing it. I'm not using Zoom. I'm not using Skype. What the fuck, dude?
It kind of reminds you of the time when Genevieve was talking, and all of a sudden you could hear voices going, just like now.
Yeah. Zero kept getting booted. I got booted. I had to go back in, man. Go back in here, dude. No.
Yeah, it's been happening to a lot of people that have been using StreamYards lately. People get booted out of the panels.
I'm thinking that I don't blame StreamYard. I think it has something to do with YouTube's bullshit. Because they were down for a good hour and 20 minutes the other day.
That was odd. And it wasn't no software updates or anything.
So I'm sitting here. Oh, what the hell?
if it was a software update, it would have taken longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, my browser's fine. It's good. It shouldn't say your browser things disconnected, yada yada yada, bang bang boom bump. I don't know. It just that it happened last week. I was again doing video on Kurt Cobain's death anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death.
Yeah.
And someone came up and says, "I know what happened." So I'm thinking, okay, well, no thing. They said he committed suicide. We've been told this for 26 years, but it doesn't. It doesn't lead to that. If somebody was about to off himself with a shotgun, and there'll be prints on the barrel, prints on the gun itself, and a thumbprint on the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But it evolves around his wife, Courtney Love. Now, do you think it's oddly crazy that all of a sudden Kurt Cobain dies, and about 4 months later, her bass player dies?
That's a little suspicious.
But the guy, that member of the band, all of a sudden acts weird at the funeral. Let's see here.
Countdown to 60 seconds. 18 seconds. Okay.
Let's see your title. Okay, guys, there's a video called "Man." It's titled "Man Crashes Presidential Debate." Okay, let's see here.
Wow.
I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking about what we like start a new political party. I think about two of them. One, I think Teddy Roosevelt had an idea, the Bull Moose Party.
Mm-hmm.
And Anonymous Party. Anonymous Party. All right, bring in.
Going crazy.
All right. We got Zero Man. He's back. What do you think, man? What do you think? A Bull Moose Party and Anonymous Party. Kind of scared the big two. Oh, what the hell?
I guess they really want you hidden.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, see, look, anybody. Oh, what the fuck, dude?
They really want you to hide.
I mean, anybody from the big three. Anybody from the big three doesn't like anybody with a very critical thinking mind. Me and Zero are two dudes with critical thinking. No bullshit. Straight up critical thinking, man. Oh, what the fuck? What do you think, man? Good? What the fuck?
Every time
I swear, I'm gonna find that dude that did this. I'm gonna kick him in the fucking nuts. Happy Hanukkah!
Your reaction every time it goes dark is funny as hell. Z, you look puzzled.
I gotta be honest here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not a your browser is disconnecting, so you might want to restart your. I'm not buying that. Oh, your connection is. I think someone's fucking with us, dude. It happened last week. I was doing a video about the 26th anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death, and it started doing that because I was questioning. I mean, even if you have to ask a question, it'd be like, "Sorry, you need to put education." Go fuck yourself, you fish fucking motherfucker. I mean, it is fucking stupid, man. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Just let people talk.
I got me a baby Yoda.
Oh, how cute.
my son's mom gave me a Chewbacca. A Chewbacca. Come here, you freaking bastard. You
Don't tell me it's the same size as the Yoda.
No. My son's mom gave me this.
It's the same size as the Yoda.
I was gonna take a picture of it and say, "This is my ex-wife's love child. This is a furry little fucker."
Wow.
It worked too. Sure. Come here, you little bastard. Where's it? Where's it at?
Z, I can see the steam coming out of your ears.
The zero?
Yeah, Z's got some steam coming out of his ears.
What are you thinking, man?
He's got something on his mind.
Oh, crap.
Your mic's muted. Your mic is muted. We cannot hear you. Unmic yourself. Oh, jeez.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, you just now noticed that.
Yeah. I sent you guys the kicking the nuts reaction thing.
Yeah, God, sometimes I wish Tin Man was here to send us. Like, that was a total Tin Man moment.
That same guy was on Family Guy towards it in an episode where Peter and Lois were headed back to the house. Now all of a sudden, this guy came out of nowhere, kicks Peter in the nuts. Oh, what the hell? God damn it.
Kind of reminds me of Carrot Top.
All right, now you can watch it on your own accord because the premiere is over.
Okay.
You will not be jumped to where the video is playing. You will start at the beginning now.
Awesome, man.
This guy kind of reminds me of Carrot Top.
Yeah. But Carrot Top is a comedian
that was good, bro.
Huh?
That was good, bro. Y'all saw me. I clicked on camera because I realized I was reacting. And I was like, oh, yeah, y'all need to fucking see this shit. This shit is fucking epic. He gets real good right there at the end before he goes to his sponsorship role. He gets really fucking deep. His last fucking paragraph is fucking epic.
It is, man. I mean, every word is like, it's like the words you hear from V for Vendetta. Every word has a meaning. Every word has a meaning. Each meaning is like kicking a nuts each time, and each time it's painful, but it's worth learning these meanings and shit. Hear about it.
It's like our little mini series we did about gathering your dots before you connect them to put together the picture. You can't just jump into a fucking connected dot picture. You have to have somebody to put the dots down on the paper, then arrange them, and then you have to draw out the page. You're at step 3 whenever you finally get a connect the dots picture.
Not the one where it's already pre-dotted. You gotta do it yourself by hand, and then
that's a metaphor you can put on life in this kind of aspect of understanding, where you have to go out and get all this damn information and figure out what you want, what you don't want. You gather your dots, and as you gather your dots, you start arranging them. We went through this on our little mini series, and it's broken down just that way. One is you gather your dots. That's nearly 2 hours long. One is arranging your dots. That's an hour and a half in itself. The next one is connecting the dots. And the final one is putting together the picture. Because once you notice that all this starts coming together, you realize, oh, I have another connected dot picture over here. Oh, man, this dot goes to that dot. Oh, look at the picture now.
When you first start, and when you get to that halfway point, you start to see what the line will look like, but it ain't fully finish it until you get halfway, and then when you get to the ending, you start to comprehend what it is. Until it's fully.
Yeah, man, because you must gather your dots and start placing them before anything occurs. That's exactly what Grandmaster said. That's almost half the process. You have to gather them and then start placing them before you can even start connecting them. That's why I said the metaphor of the connect the dot book. You're on step 3 if somebody gives you a connect the dot book. No. How about you go out there, gather your dots, and arrange them so that it occurs properly for you? Because nobody can teach you anything. You have to comprehend it.
You have to do it yourself. It's like learning how to hunt. Like you're a young Indian kid, say from Navajo, whatever. You have to learn how to hunt. As a kid, you got to learn these different steps. And then when you start learning these steps, it takes time to even learn how to get your first kill, your first buffalo kill, your first whatever rabbit,
your first
game hen, deer, whatever. It's part of the process of learning a skill.
Right, Jenna? Right, Jenny?
I've never been hunting, so I can't say.
Getting your first sheared sheeple. You kind of have to do it yourself. And it's an experience, is it not?
Every time is the blast.
No, you get what I'm stating. The first one is like, okay, how do I do this? You do it in one quick motion like this. Fruit.
And every time it's just as good as the first.
It's like starting in preschool. You're a sheeple starting in preschool because half the time you're not learning very much in school because powers that be took something away from you. So you gotta learn from little sheeple in preschool. You gotta learn to understand what it means to start using your fucking brain. So when you go, when you go from grammar school to middle school, your brain starts to develop. Your whole thing starts to develop. And then you start questioning authority. Who do you question, and what authority do you question? But when you get into high school, that's when the ideal of questioning everything happens. But after you graduate high school, you think you know a lot, but in actuality, you don't know fully shit.
Like that joke I sent from TikTok to you, guys.
That was funny, dude.
Yeah. Related to that, like Grandmaster said, whenever you get to junior high, the only thing that you notice is what's right in front of you, and that's your authority figure telling you what to do all the time. And the 7 out of 10 time reaction is to rebel against that because nobody likes being told what the fuck to do. Once you step over into the high school realm, it's like, oh, I see all this. Once you get out of high school, it's like, I get this on.
It's like you're willing to walk through the minefields to question a lot of idiots. And if you manage to walk through a huge minefield and survive, you are a mentally bad motherfucker.
You're an even badder motherfucker if you walk through the minefield, activate them all, and then just look back and be like, what happened?
You're just laughing.
I got kicked out of that school for that reason. I got kicked out of that school for that reason.
I thought the worst in mine was the stink bombs.
Did a mosquito fart? What was that?
In the hallways.
There's a something I saw. It's kind of funny. Real funny here.
Well, I liked how that little girl explained to that grown ass adult about the different types of animals who lay out different shit, but he seemed to not know shit.
Okay, here's your preemptive warning. I might disappear at sometime soon because somebody's going to video call me, and that's going to be important. So this is your warning. I don't know when it'll happen, but it was an hour ago they asked, and it'll probably happen within the next 30 minutes now.
Oh, so sad.
Getting back in, I got to get back to as deep as I was. Even though I still have the clearance, I don't have the authority.
Oh, God. Meal.
Now that you can blame on the dog.
You can't blame that on the dog if your pants are blown out.
And the dog looks like he got burnt.
Me and the term blowed out your ass.
More like blow it out of your jeans. Shit.
If the viewers want to know what we're laughing about, here you go, guys. Here you go. This is this thing here. This is this here. Here.
You couldn't even blame that on the elephant.
So, I'm going to bring up something. Has anybody been able to get this Joe Biden victory speech, a file of that, or some kind of file of that? If you can at least get me the Joe Biden victory speech on a file format, I can do everything else because I'd like to
I've been looking for it, man.
I'd like to hear it in reverse.
There's a lot of shit happening.
Just to put that out there to Grandmaster's Dome real quick. Listen if you can, the reverse words, because in our company of things, we know that yes we can equals thank you Satan backwards. Joe Biden said yes we can exactly in the center of his speech. And there are certain other points in the speech that I kind of think I know what it states backwards, what it sounds like backwards, but I can't remember exactly what it is. So I'd like to review Joe Biden's victory speech, so that I'm in the camera. Victory speech, that one that was. Yeah,
I like to hear that in their song "Stairway to Heaven" and shit.
Yes, because the actual thing that actually got me was that was just another reference point for the public. But the thing that made me was that he had clicked his tongue and then said the word psalm and hymn inside of a sentence. That's another part that I have
a feeling that someone's going to come out with a video of Joe Biden as a lizard and shit. I mean, they already got it with Mark Zuckerberg and shit as a lizard and shit because his eyes like.
They did that to the Queen of England too. They're trying to
do it to all the blue blood individuals. All the people whose blood that whenever it hits the air, it turns blue instead of red because of the oxygen, which is a human trait, but it's like 1 in like 1,000 people have this shit, or 1 in like 35,000, or some huge weird fucking 1,000 number. It's not million, it's 1,000. That their blood will turn blue from the oxygen in the air because our blood turns red from the oxygen in the air because there's 2 colors in your bloodstream.
Blue and red.
Without oxygen is actually blue. Whenever it hits the air, it is so lack of oxygen, as well as I heard there's actually a different chemical inside of it that makes it, on the visual spectrum, appear as blue.
I looked at a video that we did about flat Earth and shit. There's like it got about a very few, views and shit, and I thought that it'll get more because of the topic and shit, and so shit. And it only got about let's see here, 21 views. It got 2 likes and 1 dislike, and I was like, why a dislike? It's a question. We're all questioning it. People are questioning it, but also people that say, where's proof or the Earth's flat? You know, I mean 21 views, 2 likes. It ain't about the likes at all, period. It's more like, okay, it's Earth's flat. Okay, if it was actually flat, how will we react, or how will we live on a planet that's flat as a board? You know,
I apologize to interject. I'm stating something that Grandmaster referenced before. Somebody just did a naughty comment on my stuff, and I caught it immediately, and I deleted it, like I stated you're supposed to do.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't know why they do that shit. I mean, when I want people to comment on something that's intellectual, something that's really just makes sense, makes sense. Not none of this website crap, because it could be a link, and that link could be a virus and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it is fucking nuts, man. It is fucking nuts, man. People don't understand that of what is happening on these platforms and shit. They don't want anybody questioning anything, or anybody with a very critical thinking mind to question anything at all. Well, I want to do it. I've been doing it since I was alive, man. 44 years, man. So shit. If somebody has a problem with anybody questioning anything, take a step back, assess, understand the question. It could be a what if, or what are the possibilities? What are the, of this, or this, or that, or that? That's why the title is Time to Ask the Big Questions Hardcore. There has to be hardball questions, not none of this softball lobbing bullshit questions. We don't need any PC police. We don't need any PC pussies and shit. Try to say, well, you're wrong. Okay. If you say I'm wrong,
prove it.
Bring out your evidence that I'm wrong. Put your cards on the table. Prove that I'm wrong. If my question has logic, if you think I'm wrong, prove it. Bring your cards to the table. Bet what you got on your so-called thinking that I'm wrong. Here's my cards on the table. You bring yours to the table. Stop being a little bitch and actually put your money where your fucking mouth is. That's like if Zero asked a really hardball question and had some logic in it, and somebody says, "Oh, well, you're wrong." Okay, motherfucker, bring out your evidence. Lay your cards on the table and prove me fucking wrong.
Well, that's daily.
Because you just can't say, "Oh, you're wrong." Okay, Mr. Lighter Than Air, prove me that I'm wrong. Just don't say it. You prove. Where's your evidence? Where's your thing? Lay your cards on the table. Prove that I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I will own up to it. But you just cannot come and say, someone says, "Well, you're wrong for this and this." Okay. Proof. Why am I wrong? It's like saying, "Well, you're wrong about the Earth evolved around the sun. The sun evolved around the Earth." Okay, Mrs. Lighter Than Queef, prove me wrong. Where's your evidence here? Lay your fucking cards out on the table. Proves the Earth evolved around the sun. Then you're wrong. even though it's been proven by Galileo that the Earth revolves around the sun, let's hear your evidence. Bring evidence. Show your evidence to your evidence to the jury. Bring it to the scientific court. But oh, you're wrong. If there's proof in the logic of the question, and so if okay, for example, Tower 7, okay, let's say 40-story building, never been hit by a plane or whatever, but it is damaged. It is damaged.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, it comes down. Didn't get hit, but we're told, oh, fire did it. Prove it. 1,500, okay? 1,500 engineers, firefighters, architects, demolition experts will prove otherwise, that it was controlled demolition. Well, it's on fire. There's been a lot of talk about thermite and the demolition.
Oh, you're here?
Liquid thermite can melt through steel like a hot knife through butter. Some people say, well, where's your evidence there? Okay, you show your hand, prove that it means otherwise. Like, yeah, thermite did have something to do with the demolition, because fire can't do it. Fire has burnt paper, everything that's in chair, desk, copier, name it, fire. But when you give out this logic evidence here, and it's proven, you will get called out for, well, that ain't true. Okay, asshole, prove your case. Prove it. What's your evidence? Can you corroborate what you're saying? Did you get it from a third party? Did you research anything? Or are you sticking with this third party word from somebody that couldn't corroborate any of it? But you have proof. You have a thing there right in front of the person who's calling you a liar.
I just forced that out, but I can only get audio off of it. I couldn't get a video off of it. But that's all I need is the audio.
Now, an episode of Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura, and they're talking about 9/11. There's a lady that worked in the Pentagon, the area that was brought down, and when she talked, she said it sounded like more of a bomb than anything else. No, nothing, a bomb. And she was told it was a plane. Now, wouldn't the plane go through that first wall and people would have died? people would have died. If it was a plane or a missile, I mean, all these things that we're questioning, it was almost 20 years ago. Almost 20 years ago. You know, and it's still being questioned, even almost 20 years later.
Oh yeah, I've seen video out there of our troops over there, and they brought pictures of 9/11 with them, and they've asked the people, "Do you guys know about this?" and everything. Every single one of those citizens said we knew nothing about it. Not even their president knew anything about it. Doesn't that make you question?
Well, if you go back to 9/10 of 01, we're missing $2.3 trillion. Okay, $2.3 trillion. Where did it go? If you're missing $2.3 trillion, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Where did it go? Then 9/11, that area was hit. It's like somebody was covering their tracks for some reason. And there's a video about 9-10 years after the event. These planes are still around. One of the planes was used in 03. Two of them were used 3 years later. They had the records changed and shit like that.
Here's what also makes you question it too. Those were steel structures.
Yeah.
Now, how does a fire burn that type of steel to make it collapse like that?
Jet fuel is 3/4 kerosene.
Mm-hmm.
It could burn, but it'll probably weaken some areas. Now, if it was, say, higher than 3,000 degrees, higher, it would probably enough to take it down. But a plane wouldn't do it, because if you could look at World War II, a B-17 Flying Fortress ran into the Empire State Building and it stood.
Yeah.
It took out 2-3 floors and nothing happened. If a building was able to be built to handle that kind of thing, could stay up.
Those towers should have stayed up. See, my father had a theory that there were types of explosive devices on that floor to take down those steel things along with the plane. Like somebody had planted explosive devices near those steels to bring it down.
I think it was done ahead of time. It was set up. It was planned at a certain time, and plus they were renovating about 2, 3, 4 floors. And I think when they were renovating, this is just my thought and theory, that people went in, set it all up. They were pretending to be renovators, and they installed the thermite charges.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it at spots on both towers and shit. Yeah, now this will probably be I mean, 9 months. 9 months.
The way those steel beams are made it's if it was just a plane, it wouldn't have come down like it did.
It was iron girders. One was sent 500 feet to a Tower 5. Tower 5. I mean, just send it 500 feet, a girder. Just boom.
Mm-hmm.
I think the planes were there to for us to believe that the planes took it down. It took
like
about
it was
nearly
a cover-up
12 years to finish the building and shit. Almost 12 years.
Like it was a masking tactic to make people believe that it was planes that took it down, when really it was something else.
Like the left hand was busy whacking somebody off, while the right hand was going fingering another chick.
Look over here, everybody.
The art of illusion. Exactly. The art of illusion.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just that we're being told, okay, Biden supposedly won the election, which
by the numbers it did.
The numbers. But the thing is, when you question it, they get angry. They get angry. Why are you getting mad at us?
Okay, I gotta go. See y'all later. Trips.
Oh, man. Let bro. Trips. But I mean, it's like if you question anything about any event, they would call you every name in the book.
Oh yeah.
Discredit you, call your name in the book, call you a liar, a conspiracy theorist. When you have a right as an individual, you have a right to question anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you as an individual have the right to question anything. If they call you a liar, tell them, hey, look, prove it. Where's your evidence? Where's your so-called proof? If you're asking a question, I mean, even if you're asking just a simple question, nothing really heavy, just a regular question, and the question has a good logic point to that question. So I've never been called out for questioning anything. Never been called out. Not on Twitter, not on Facebook, not even here on YouTube. I question a lot, but the only people that are calling me out, calling me liars without even saying it, is Facebook, it's Twitter, and it's YouTube.
Well, that's a big difference compared to what I'm being called out to. So the sheeples are calling me out.
Because I shared a video on the Next News Network from the Next News Network. I shared it, and Facebook all of a sudden fact checked it as like not believable, no proof at all, no proof. Okay, I don't think that Facebook has fact checkers. I think it's themselves doing the fact checking. Period. I deep down think that Facebook don't have any fact checkers. I think they're doing it themselves. Because when the truth's out there, when something's out there, I mean, hey, you could question it all you want, but it doesn't give you a right to censor the thing. because
exactly.
maybe people want to see this. Maybe they want to hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you came out with a really award-winning Italian cookbook, one of the best all-time sellers on the New York bestsellers list. Jenny's home cooked Italian book. And then you'll probably have someone questioning the authenticity of the recipes. Hey, Jenny, can you tell us, do you use real tomatoes or do you use the canned diced ones? That question will make you want to punch the guy in the balls. No, like, look, asshole. I'm an Italian woman. I use natural shit. I don't use this canned crap. I use homegrown tomatoes, garlic, whatever it is.
Well, you can use canned tomatoes as long as you know how to doctor it.
Yeah, and I mean, there are people. I mean, critics. I've read a few cookbooks. I've read a couple here and there over the years, and they had critics that are very vicious with their shit. You know, like, okay, well, and I'm a food guy. I admit this. I am a food guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like pasta. I like Italian food. I like Mexican food. I like seafood. I like a good barbecue, Cajun barbecue. Anything that could fill me up for the day.
What guy isn't a food guy?
And I mean, but not every food guy likes a certain type of food.
No.
I like Cajun food. I like Japanese food, Chinese food, Italian-made cooking food. Anything that could put a smile on my face, I would be a happy motherfucker. And it's like, if you made something Italian good and I eat it, hey, I want to have a plate, enjoy it, and celebrate because it was a good, awesome dish. I loved it. I may have seconds or thirds and whatnot, and enjoy savoring the taste, the texture of the dish. My God, it was like having sex 5 times in 1 hour. Oh yeah, good tomatoes, good cheese. The cheese was nothing good. It filled me up, man. It really made my day. And I mean, dude, I would be happy as a clown without the stomach aches and the nausea of hearing political bullshit. I'm more of a food guy who enjoys a nice good dish, turn TV off, play some music, eat the dish. Yay! How's your weekend, darling?
Oh, wonderful.
You know, I always enjoy talking to you.
We all enjoy when we get to have panels.
Oh, yeah. I always enjoy having a conversation with you, darling. Always have. We can talk about any kind of shit and laugh about it, enjoy it. Hey, it's awesome. It's a good conversation.
Well, between us three, we pretty much carry the awakened group anyway.
I've been trying to get Robin in the group to join, but I don't know. He's been busy. I don't know if he's busy or not. So I'm trying to figure out how Tin Man doesn't do this anymore. He walked away. I don't blame him one bit. I don't. No. I mean, there's reasons why we kind of walk away a bit. If it's personal reasons, it's fine. It's something else fine too. Genevieve, she haven't talked to her in a while.
Yeah, I haven't talked to her in a while either. A lot of the people on the TWWRN not very wanting to talk much.
I sent Tin Man something to kind of check out. He got kind of perturbed about it, but it's okay. Just missed the guy on here, but just
Tin Man.
Have patience. Have patience.
He's been something since high school.
Him and I met about 9 years ago, and it was really funny. I mean, we were doing our own thing, and then there's this guy, YRV, your right to volunteer. Really goofy fuck. I'm like, he sits there in his garage talking bullshit. And he's one guy talking a lot of crap, but what angered a lot of people was that Anonymous really called him out on his shit. From what I learned was that he offered an idea to Anonymous. They found it too radical and shit, and dangerous. So we all got on his ass.
Yeah.
So somehow he created this new Anonymous. There is no new Anonymous. There's no old Anonymous. There's just Anonymous. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he called them terrorists. He called them a bunch of names. I'm like, dude, do you know what the hell you're talking about? They're not terrorists. They're not murderers. They're a collective with an idea. Ideas can't die because ideas are bulletproof. So when you look at it, this guy was just talking shit. He created multiple channels, not filled with anything, just trolling anons. He even threatened a few anons himself.
Wow.
So why are you threatening anons? People who don't agree with your idea because it's radical and it's dangerous. I just think. I mean, if you have the heart to come up with an idea, make sure that it's not dangerous or radical, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Make the idea very useful with a very positive move.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want anybody to get hurt. You don't want anybody to go to jail or in the grave. Make it a positive outlook, a positive logic thing. Because people will get hurt, they will go to jail for that. It may sound good to the person, but to others, it's dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
Well, not only that, it's like some people just seem to take things and just run with it. Like it's truth. You never know if it could be a messed up lie. That's why it's important to question even something that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because you
Question.
can't sit here and run with a narrative like it's everything when it ain't shit. It has no merits. It has nothing. And then the person that doubts the narrative gets like shunned. Like, why are you doubting the person that is doubting the narrative when the narrative don't make sense?
It has. There has to be a point where the individual has to reflect on the outcome if the idea didn't go to plan. If there's a very bad incident that where someone did get hurt, the individual that came up with the idea or shared it has to be held responsible for that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be responsible for your actions, even if you were thinking about it and it does go into play. The outcome will not look good for anybody.
No.
It may be dangerous, and it may hurt somebody, may even kill them. It has to be a positive idea that will work, but there has to be a backup plan with that idea. And also a second backup plan because you have to make sure that the issue is at hand and taken care of properly. If you do it where something goes wrong,
Well,
the
even the
first
simplest little narrative you need to question. Because if something doesn't make sense, even that little narrative, how can it hold any water?
that's like what Bruce Lee once said: "Is the glass half full or half empty?"
I've seen a lot of false narratives been spun even around YouTube going, makes me even go, how does that make any sense? Even if it's against said individual, it makes you go, how does that make any sense? Even the littlest types of narratives you need to question because obviously it's going to lead to you to somewhere. Maybe back to the person who originated the claims or to an even bigger picture.
If it fails, the only thing we got is regret.
Mm-hmm.
And the individual with that narrative and it fails, they're going to have two things: regret and guilt.
Mm-hmm. And possibly even worse because some types of narratives go into a case that could lead that person that's being claimed as something to prison. And then what if your narrative is false? You're taking everybody along with you that believes that narrative into a situation that you won't be able to get out of. And not only
It's
have you hurt yourself.
Jim Jones effect.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're a leader of a commune type place, out of the, on this island thing. No, Jim Jonestown, call it. And after a while, you're gonna have someone drink. Not you're gonna have nearly 1,000 people drinking this Kool-Aid laced with arsenic and shit. You're gonna kill over nearly 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you have people who want to do good, but have very terrible and scary intentions.
Yeah.
And it would scar people mentally and emotionally. And even so bad that where they will end their own life in a way that we would never imagine.
Or put an innocent person in prison.
That too. So we have to be responsible and be accountable for what we do.
That's
if
why
we don't,
that's why it's always a safe thing to question everything. If it don't make sense in your mind, it's false. If it don't make sense in the normal day-to-day basis, it's false.
it is a good thing to question everything, because if we don't, we're going to be like the sheep and be led to slaughter.
Yeah. And they don't even realize that going with this narrative, they're putting themselves, along with the creator of the narrative, in a worse situation. Not just hurting somebody's reputation that is the victim, but you're also putting the person that originated the false claims in jeopardy by following what the narrative is. And with any sort of brain system could tell you, question the narrative. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. And that's when the narrative is false. But no, these sheeples are wanting so much to be accepted by their peers. Do you even know what you're doing?
There's a guy, he runs the High Impact Flicks channel, different variants of the High Impact Flicks. He has a shirt called Ship Illusion, where it's all a human being turning into a sheep. And I saw that spotted on, man. People are becoming sheeps and shit.
It is. Because you got one being the herder, the sheep herder, and you got one spinning in the narrative for that sheep herder so that the sheeps follow that sheep herder. It's a simple farm analogy when you're dealing with herds. You need a sheepdog to help spin the narrative certain ways. And unfortunately, even in our government, we have that situation too.
Yeah, will it end?
No,
Probably not. It'll get worse along the way, man. I tell you.
Now, if more people start to question things that don't make sense, we might be able to spin the narrative into what should be done. But more people need to be questioning than just following a sheep herder.
Yeah. I think I would rather be the wolf than the sheep.
Yeah.
Because nobody would ever fuck with a wolf, especially a pack. Could you believe I've been growing my beard out for almost a year? Sorry, down here on my shirt and shit.
Next month you'll be like Santa Claus.
I want to be Butter Claus. Butter Claus with a cherry red convertible Impala with 6 cochinas.
Oh my God. Funny thing is, I can so see you doing that.
I mean, usually it ain't this long. I'm like, I can see it on my shirt like this here. I'm
No,
going
all
like,
you need to do is whiten it up, and you could be Santa Claus.
yeah, my dad's beard's white, and
I'm pretty sure they got temporary white spray. Well, shit.
Supercuts.
Not only supercuts, but it's like what they put out for Halloween. The washout type of.
Like dye my hair white and shit.
Yeah,
See
just
the
and it can wash out like daily when you get home.
I'm gonna get a hat that says Butterclass. What the hell? I don't know why they're doing it. It's fun, man. I think it's fun. Sorry for that. Yeah, I mean, I've there are good shirts I've seen on High Five Flicks. It has different types of logos on the shirt. Oh man, dude. There's one he had that says Black Ruffles Matter.
Have you ever seen a black ruffle?
And
I'm
I'm
thinking
like,
of the potato chip.
no, rifle. Like rifle matter.
Oh, rifle.
Gun. And he had different, like, you could buy one of any color with different things on it. Mm-hmm. Shirt, long shirt, hoodie, whatever you call it, mug. I mean, there's one he has, COVID 1984.
Oh yeah, I heard about that when they were talking about that decades ago.
CV 1984.
There's
and that
also
thing
a
blew
book
me
that
away.
talks about COVID.
Yeah.
And I think that was in 1984 when they were talking about a flu that would resonate out of China.
I've read the book. It's a good book. I even seen the movie. Damn good movie.
Yeah, because I was watching TikTok one day, and I had to download it as well. But they were talking about in a book from the early to late 80s. They were talking about a virus that would come out of Wuhan, China, and it'd be devastating, but it would leave as soon as it arrived. And it was in that book. Whether if it was that book you're talking about or another book back in the 80s, but
1984 was written by George Orwell. He had a book called Animal Farm.
Yeah.
And it's a good book. Should check it out and read it. It's a good book.
Uh-huh. And they even had it on an episode of the Golden Girls, where Dorothy got sick with a virus in the lungs, and she was sick for a month. And she had this something in her lungs and coughing, and she felt really, really bad. And the Golden Girls was out in the 80s.
Near the mid to late near the early to mid 80s.
And if you bend a dollar bill in a certain way and look at the president's forehead, you could see a sign of COVID. Our money has been telling us since of what's going to happen.
Yeah, someone folded it to look like the Twin Towers on fire and shit.
Yeah, that was, I think, the $20 bill. They folded it a certain way, and you could see the Twin Towers in flames. They just did it with the $1 bill, and if you fold it in a certain way, you could see on the president's forehead, it turns into a coronavirus mask.
People do weird shit. Dollar Bill, man, I tell you.
Holy shit! Our money has been telling us the truth for years.
I would play Assassin's Creed 3 every once in a while, and you have the founding fathers are Masons, and you got the Templars and shit.
I would not be surprised if there are more stuff out there that are telling us what's gonna go down in the future.
Well, we get the truth only. So, like in movies and books and games, shit, they're telling us the truth, but only in small portions.
Mm-hmm.
And like Idiocracy. Okay. I've seen the movie. Tim Man talked about it.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Funny movie. My balls, my balls, my balls. And V for Vendetta talks about Guy Fawkes in the Parliament. If you look at the movie The Fugitive, when I first watched that movie, I wasn't paying attention, but when I started to watch the movie more and more, I started to pay attention. It's about Big Pharma.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen Manchurian Candidate, the original and the remake. Now, Shooter. There's a movie there that can really wake your ass up and shit. If you look at Clockwork Orange, 2001, A Space Odyssey. If you look at Eyes Wide Shut, The Shining. Stanley Kubrick did these movies for a reason. The guy knew his shit, and he did these movies.
Hell, as small as Tim Burton could wake your ass up.
Well, hell yeah. I mean, if you look at certain comic books, graphic novels, certain way the author is, most authors, most filmmakers, like George Lucas, are rebels, man. Call it that director, John Carpenter. Mm-hmm. He did They Live. Came out in '85. I was about 9 years old in '85 when it came out. I seen that movie and it was like, dude. And he explained the reason why he did that movie. At the time, it was consumerism. If you put on a pair of sunglasses, it says obey, watch TV, shop, or all kinds of crazy shit, And if you take it off, it's a regular person. If you put it on, it's an alien asshole. Looks like the skin's been ripped off, but it's all muscle and tissues and shit. Like, what the fuck? And it's like that. And it's all about consumerism and shit. It's about access and shit. And that movie celebrated 25 years before the one actor, Roddy Piper, died. It celebrated 25 years before he died. And he was on Alex Jones talking about it. The movie was celebrating 25 years, and it was right around the time that Reagan was in office. Reaganism and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. I was 9 years old when it came out. I've seen it maybe 5-6 times and shit. and it's a good movie to watch if you check it out. Check it out. It's a good movie. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum.
Sounds about right.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Sounds about right.
That when I heard that, I laughed my ass off. I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. I'm all out of bubblegum. Now I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh man, it's a good movie. I mean, shit, insane, man. You know, really insane.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how the movie Christine came in as a book?
Somebody wrote it before the movie?
No. The movie Christine, which was it was written by Stephen King, but also became a movie directed by Stephen King by John Carpenter. Mm-hmm. The origin story of the book Christine. Okay, there's Wendy C. Allen. Her family bought this 1964 Polara.
Yeah.
It started out as a cop car for years. 3 different officers drove it, then all of a sudden ended their own life. So they sold the car to a firefighter chief, and they used it, and it started as good luck. This car did things that nobody would ever imagine it would do. Mm-hmm. And after a while, the chief ended up really not himself, then also took his own life. People thought it was possessed by the devil and shit. And people have died around this car. Animals have their carcasses were around this car dead. A kid was died.
Mm-hmm.
And Stephen King came into the area where the car was, and he saw the car, and he heard stories about it. He went and saw it, and that was the origin of when he wrote Christine. And they called the car the Golden Eagle, and it was owned by Wendy C. Allen and her family. And shit. It's good. A cool car, look, but here's the story. Like, I like the car. It looks pretty good. It's a classic. But I'm gonna stay about 1,000 yards away from this car before it kills me. You know. And the church folk were like, the car possessed by the devil. So they took the car and they cut up in 4 pieces, and they took each piece of the car and buried it in 4 different wrecking yards.
Wow.
They got into trouble. They had to return the car, even as it's in pieces and shit. At the time, it would cost about nearly $100,000 to repair the car. Well, close it, but I've read the book. I've seen the movie, and it's a cool movie. Mm-hmm. All right, darling. It looks like I need to put the turkey in the oven.
Okay.
All right, folks. This is good old Grandmaster Revan here, and my lovely guest, Jenny. And if you guys are new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, and hit the bell for notification. And if you got this transmission, you are the resistance. Peace. All right.